Memory foam. Before it became the material inside millions of mattresses and shoe insoles across America, it was developed by NASA in the 1960s to improve seat cushioning and crash protection for aircraft pilots. The original goal was simple: reduce the impact of G-forces on the human body during flight. Scientists at NASA's Ames Research Center created a foam that could absorb pressure evenly and then return to its original shape. Once that technology left the space program and entered the consumer market, it changed the way people sleep, sit, and recover from injuries. Today, it is found in hospital beds, football helmets, wheelchair cushions, and everyday mattresses in homes across the world. Scratch-resistant lenses. If you wear glasses or sunglasses, there is a quiet NASA contribution sitting right in front of your eyes. In the late 1970s, NASA needed a way to protect equipment used in space from the harsh environment of orbit. Plastic surfaces scratched easily, and that was a serious problem for helmets and other gear. Researchers developed a special, diamond-like carbon coating that made plastic surfaces dramatically more resistant to scratching. That same coating technology was later adapted by the eyewear industry and became the standard treatment applied to nearly every plastic lens sold today. It extended the life of glasses for millions of people without most of them ever knowing where it came from. Water filters. Clean drinking water at home feels like something that has always been there, but the filtration technology inside modern water purifiers has a direct connection to NASA. During the Apollo missions, engineers needed a way to provide astronauts with safe, bacteria-free drinking water in space, where there was no way to boil or traditionally purify water. They developed activated charcoal filters combined with iodine-based purification systems that could remove contaminants reliably in a sealed environment. That research directly influenced the design of the carbon-based water filters used in household pitchers, faucet attachments, and refrigerator systems that Americans use every single day. Cordless tools. The cordless drill sitting in your garage or toolbox has roots that go back to the moon. In the early 1960s, NASA partnered with Black & Decker to develop a compact, battery-powered drill that astronauts could use during lunar missions to collect rock samples. The challenge was creating something powerful enough to drill into the lunar surface while being light enough to carry and completely free of any cord. The result was a self-contained, rechargeable power tool that performed reliably in the vacuum of space. Once that engineering work was done, Black & Decker took the technology back to the consumer market, and the modern cordless tool industry was essentially born from that collaboration. CAT scan and MRI technology. Medical imaging, as we know it today, owes a significant debt to NASA's early work in space photography. When NASA needed to use digital signal processing to enhance images taken by spacecraft and lunar probes, engineers developed algorithms that could reconstruct a clear image from incomplete or noisy data. Those same mathematical techniques were later applied by medical researchers to build the foundation of computerized tomography, which is the basis of the CAT scan. The ability to take dozens of X-ray images from different angles and reconstruct them into a detailed three-dimensional picture of the human body, freeze-dried food, lightweight, long-lasting, easy to prepare. Freeze-dried food was one of NASA's most practical contributions to everyday life. Sending food to space requires it to weigh as little as possible while lasting for long periods without refrigeration. NASA worked with food scientists to perfect the freeze-drying process, which removes nearly all moisture from food while keeping its nutritional value and flavor largely intact. Adding water brings it back close to its original state. That process, refined for the space program, eventually became the technology behind backpacking meals, emergency food supplies, instant coffee, and much of the packaged food sitting on grocery store shelves today. Invisible braces. Orthodontic aligners made from clear, nearly invisible plastic are now used by millions of Americans. The material that makes them possible, a translucent polycrystalline alumina, was originally developed by NASA and a company called Ceradyne to protect the infrared antenna systems on heat-seeking missile trackers. The material needed to be strong, heat-resistant, and transparent to certain frequencies. A researcher who had worked with NASA later realized the same material could be shaped into tooth-straightening devices that were nearly invisible to the eye. That realization led directly to the development of clear aligners, and the orthodontic industry was permanently changed. Temper foam used in airplane seats. While memory foam gets most of the attention, there is a more specific foam material called temper that was also developed out of NASA research and later found its way into aircraft seating and high end furniture. The material was engineered to respond to body temperature, softening and shaping itself precisely to whoever was sitting or lying on it. After NASA research on pressure absorption led to commercial development, the Swedish company Tempur-Pedic brought it into the consumer market. The connection between a premium mattress someone sleeps on tonight and the pressure research done for space travel in the 1960s is more direct than most people realize. Shoe insoles. Athletic shoe technology today relies heavily on materials research that came out of the space program. NASA developed a process called blow rubber molding to create the spacesuit boot material, which needed to be flexible, shock absorbing, and durable enough for the conditions of the moon's surface. That same process and the materials used in it were later licensed and adapted by athletic footwear companies. The cushioning systems inside high performance running shoes and cross trainers are a direct descendant of that original work. Every time someone laces up a pair of modern athletic shoes, they are standing on the result of engineering done for a completely different purpose decades ago. Firefighter breathing equipment. Modern self-contained breathing apparatus used by firefighters across the United States is significantly lighter and more reliable than what existed before NASA's involvement. In the 1970s, NASA engineers worked on redesigning life support systems for astronauts, focusing on reducing weight while maintaining full functionality. The result was a breathing system that weighed considerably less than what firefighters were using at the time. NASA transferred that technology directly to the firefighting industry, and within a few years, the lighter, more efficient breathing equipment became standard in fire departments. It has since saved countless lives by allowing firefighters to move faster and work longer in dangerous environments. Insulin pumps. The miniaturized technology inside modern insulin pumps, which millions of diabetic Americans rely on every day, has a connection to NASA's work on implantable medical devices. NASA researchers working on ways to monitor astronaut health in space developed early versions of miniaturized sensors and fluid delivery systems that could operate reliably in a small, sealed device. That engineering contributed to the development of implantable and wearable medical devices, including the pumps that continuously deliver insulin to people with diabetes. The miniaturization challenges that NASA solved for space medicine turned out to be exactly the same challenges that medical device engineers needed to solve for patients on Earth.